Hey everyone, this is Hannah Metzger, and for my culturally relevant product, I chose to focus on something that I'm calling student storybooks. And I'm teaching third grade this year, and I also found out recently that I'm going to have a gifted cluster in my class, which I'm really excited about. So this is a lesson that I'm hoping to implement in my classroom this year that can be kind of differentiated for my gifted kiddos. So, the basic description of student storybooks is that students will be asked to bring in a picture that is significant to them and represents a person, a place, or an event that just means a lot to them and to their background. And then, based off of that picture, they will write a descriptive narrative that is inspired by that picture. So, it could be a narrative about that person, or about that place that means a lot to them, or about something that's happened to them before. And this aligns with our third grade standard that we focus on in quarter one of narrative writing, which is laid out as write narratives to develop real or imagined experiences or events using effective techniques, descriptive details, and clear event sequences. So in this case, obviously, it would be real experiences or events. And then that standard also is broken down into other little bits and pieces about things that should be incorporated in that narrative. So the cultural relevance piece of this is that I'm really hoping that the prompt of a photo will allow students to talk about their background a lot and just open up opportunities for them to be comfortable with that and apply it to the learning process of writing narratives. I kind of think that students can be a little uncomfortable at first talking about their background, but I think that having um, like a visual to kind of be a jumping point and a talking point can help students to be a little bit more comfortable with sharing something or someone that contributes to their culture and contributes to just what has shaped them as a person. So the gifted connection to this, how it can be kind of differentiated for those gifted students, is that this task really just naturally has a very high performance ceiling that allows students to be creative in their narrative writing. It kind of has this jumping point of using a picture, but it can be taken in so many different directions and maybe even turned into a more extended narrative. So for gifted students, I'm envisioning that I will be providing additional challenges of things that they should be incorporating in this narrative, kind of giving more focus to adding advanced creative descriptions. That's something we're going to focus on a lot in our classes, like really effective descriptions in our narratives. So just getting really creative with that in the way that they communicate those descriptions. The assessment piece of this can be used as a product assessment for the narrative writing unit, obviously, and this will assess students' ability to describe actions, thoughts, and feelings of their personal experiences, and that is a part of that third grade narrative writing standard that I mentioned before. So resources is pretty basic for this lesson, which is something I appreciate. It's not too complex. But students will need to have access to a picture that can be brought from home. I know for a lot of students they might not have a physical copy, so I would also reach out to parents asking them if they have a picture that they could send in to me and I could print out that picture for them. But other than that, it's just students need paper, notebooks, or pencils to write down, and then I'm also going to do an example as the teacher of like a picture I would bring in and then a narrative I would write from it. So the course connection that really inspired me in this unit comes from one of our readings that we had while we were talking about assessments. I think it was in session 3. So this is one of the readings that we had, and I really liked this analogy that Julia Link Roberts brought up, so I'm going to read it. It says, progress assessment should be equated with the tasting process as the chef is preparing his special soup. The chef's intended outcome is a delicious soup. In order to reach that goal, he wants to know if the soup needs additional seasonings or other ingredients in order to reach its full taste potential. Likewise, the teacher sets learning goals. She wants to know what the students already know and are able to do before the unit of study begins. And then she checks on how much has been learned at various points in time in the teaching unit. So I'm not sure yet at what point in our narrative writing unit I could use this lesson that I developed. Um, I might use it more towards the beginning because it's, I think, really good for um, helping students get to know each other right at the beginning of the year. So it could almost be more of like a pre-assessment product assessment, or you could use it later in the narrative writing unit and have it be more of an assessment of, okay, did they learn how to describe their thoughts and feelings and events in a narrative and all of those different components of narrative writing. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to hopefully implement it this year, and I hope it inspires some of you too as well.